Thank you all for joining us. After a bit of a hiatus, some time off for the holidays and a little bit of a busy season, we are back at it. Hard to believe this is volume 5 already of our learning series with Google and the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. My name is Chad Kleefoth. I'm the digital learning consultant at the Department of Public Instruction, and I am deep into all that is digital and the exciting world of digital literacy and digital citizenship and ways in which we can really enhance and extend the learning experience through the integration of digital tools and really focusing on the skills and knowledge kids need to be future ready. I am once again joined by my colleague Mike Patterson.
Hello, Wisconsin. Excited, +1 to what Chad said of being back. I hope everyone had a nice break for Chad and I and our fantastic content and commentary. Hopefully all of you know already how to reach myself as well as our Chicago-based team, but there is our email alias edu-shy@google.com. I am your friendly neighborhood Googler, education program manager by title, based out of the Chicago office. As Chad mentioned, hard to believe we're already at volume 5 of year 1 of the learning series, but we want to keep the positive momentum going and appreciate those of you who have tuned in live and continue to do so, but also are well aware that we want this to be a valuable resource for people to be able to go to. So Chad and I have made it a point to record all of these sessions, and then we are making these sessions available via the DPI website. So something to look forward to. We're going to go usual flow. What's new at Google? We had some great stuff happen over the course of December and January. A lot of stuff announced at BET in the UK. Our February theme, we're going to be joined by one of my rockstar teammates, Aaron, who's going to be talking about applied digital skills. And our theme this month is developing digital skills for the future of work. As always, we'll close with Q&A and wrap up for anything those of you joining us live may have as questions. If you do have questions, if you're watching the recorded version of this, please feel free to use the edu-shy@google.com, or you can also reach out to Chad. We'll work to get you that answer as fast as we can.
And for those of you that may have forgotten during this webinar, feel free to use the chat feature. It is open. If you have questions that come up while any one of us is presenting, drop something in there at the end. We'll really try to get at those questions and answer everything that you have. So without further ado, let Mike do his thing.
All right, so let's discuss what's new at Google for EDU. Hopefully a lot of this is stuff that you've seen already. And hopefully some of you feel as though this is the result of your hard work in giving us feedback. This is always the public service announcement I try to add at the beginning of all of our time together. Our tools are formed based on the feedback that we get from you and your students. And so I plead actually for you to continue to do that. As someone that was a beta tester of Classroom when it first came out, when I was still in the classroom, and for those of you that were the early users, you know how far Classroom has come, and that has come largely, if not completely, from the feedback that comes from the schools that we get to serve. So that's across the board with the tools that we have. For those of you on the technical side of the house or that use the admin console, for those of you that are enjoying the upgrades there and the new UI, that is the result of your feedback. So please, again, continue to do that. It's the only way we get better. It's the only way we get better as educators as well, is getting that feedback from our peers and from our leadership.
Hey, Mike, before you get too deep into this, can we click on the audio, the script on the bottom?
Oh, yeah, you got it. Sorry.
My apologies. I meant to grab into it and we got into good conversation.
No problem whatsoever. Great call out by Chad. He actually steals the thunder of a later slide, but that's okay. So for those of you that were aware, we do have closed caption functionality that has been added to Google Slides. As you can see here, this is real time. Some updates in the theme of feedback is we actually allowed for options when it comes to the position of where the closed captions are. So you can see this can be adjusted from the top or the bottom, and you can also adjust the font size. More things to come and developments in that, including hopefully multi-language support as well as archiving of the closed caption context to be used for later dates. So thanks, Chad, for calling that out. All right, so let's talk Chromebook App Hub. And if this isn't something that you've seen yet, I encourage you to go check it out. It's open to everyone. This is a place for administrators, for tech leaders, for instructional leaders, classroom teachers to be able to go and get a really fantastic view of all the different types of things that you can do on a Chromebook, that you can do with apps and content. This launched this past summer. There was about 60 apps in our original launch and roughly 75 or so idea sparks. Idea sparks are lesson ideas that have been generated and submitted by other educators. So this is not app developers trying to promote their products. This is in fact showcasing different ways that you could use these tools to unlock learning, or as it says in the screenshot there, open up for unlimited potential with your kids. So these are the updated filters. As you can see here, you can do idea categories, subjects, age ranges, ages 5 and up, and then also different learning goals that are tied to it. So depending on the types of learning standards you use, whether broad or specific, you can drill in and get some really good stuff in here. Also announced, which we're super excited about, this was a pre-announcement that came out at BET. We are bringing the ability to manage licenses and distribute licenses into the admin console. And we're doing that with a core group of apps called the Creativity Apps for Chromebooks. We spent the last few months working with these app developers in particular to maximize the learning experience on Chromebooks, on Chromebook tablets, utilizing these 6 apps. As you can see on the right-hand side here, this is what it would look like in the admin console once this feature and functionality is rolled out, that even with delegated access from your tech administrators in your district, you would have the potential to be able to apply licenses to your students across staff, across buildings, and that's through the previous structure and setup of OUs in the admin console. So a lot of people want to know what those apps are. Great news is it's a lot of household names already. Explain Everything in the Infinite Whiteboard tool that allows for collaboration and a little bit deeper understanding, and also ability for students to show understanding in their projects. Book Creator, another fantastic tool, ways that kids can showcase learning and comprehension. Infinite Painter for doing or unlocking creativity and all types of drawings and arts creations. WeVideo is a tool that's been around for quite some time that allows students to collaborate and build creative media content. Soundtrap, and then also Squid. Squid's a fantastic, if you haven't heard of it before, tool that allows you to annotate, which has been a consistent ask from all of our Google for Education users. And Squid is a tool that allows you to annotate, use some of the inking in a very productive and seamless way. So what that looks like from the admin perspective, or if they delegate it down Chromebooks. These apps will install automatically and authenticate licenses in the background. It's not going to ask students to install them. It's not going to ask you to install them. The apps are in fact going to travel with the students with their user profiles. So that's something we really wanted to bring, and we're really excited to pose as the next level of innovation for us with the learning communities that we serve.
Hey, can you pop back real
Yeah.
quick, because you cut out when you were maybe one more.
This one here?
Yep, that's it.
All right, sorry about that. So yeah, just kind of quickly, this is just the ability to control and distribute licenses, turning on different apps for different parts of your district depending on grade level. These controls can be distributed in what would be referred to as delegated access roles. And apologies if this part cut out here, but what I was sharing was the fact that much like the current user experience for students, when they log into a Chromebook, their user profile is pulled down, all of their settings, accessibility settings, etc. This is going to be the same thing for these apps and licenses. It'll be seamless in the background, not something that as a teacher that you're going to have to work to install, disrupting the learning process in the classroom. One other thing that's super helpful is, especially for all of us that have been in the classroom, when we ask for apps and tools that are must-haves for our kids, we are going to be able to give visibility to you and your district on the types of usage that's actually happening with the licenses. And so that's great for consideration of use, also for purchasing, and a great way to also showcase use and need for more licenses, which is hopefully a nice goal to reach towards. All right, we are in our second round of Google for Education transformation reports. And if you haven't heard about these, we launched this past summer. We did kind of our first round with a select number of schools that were interested in going deeper into how they're using Google for Education in their district. So you can see in this mock-up of a report card here, things like progress towards transformation, utilizing the different pillars in the Google for Education Transformation Center. Those pillars you can see at the bottom of the screen here: vision, learning model, culture, all of the things that we focus on a daily basis in our learning communities. We also wanted to give a little bit more insight, because people have asked for it, into how G Suite is being used, how Chromebooks are being used, and also level 1 and level 2 certification attainments in your district. So that's just kind of one snapshot. These reports are really meant to open the eyes of the administration team, the instructional leaders, the technical leaders in your district, to make sure that everyone feels as though they are innovating the way that they were meant to with Google, G Suite, Chromebooks, and so on. And so this is a good report to pull out your data and present it in a way that you can act on. This is meant to be all actionable things. There's suggestions that tie back to the Transformation Center of how to move forward with these particular parts of your learning community. How you are aided in doing that is the data that we're able to share with you. This is only your data that we pull into the report and present only to your district. This is at a high level, so you'll see there's percentage usages of each of the different tools. And then towards the bottom here, we're actually capturing it within the frame or context of the 4 C's. We recognize that I think we're up to 9 C's now, but you can see collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking, and how these tools are being used to help achieve that. This is meant to be a measurement so that you can see from one year to the next, or from one quote unquote report card to the next, the progress that you and your learning community are making. So if you're interested, next steps, there is a live sign up. You can register your interest. This is something that typically the admin of your district, the Google admin that is, would sign up for, and then building a leadership team that would conduct as well as complete the survey. That survey link would be shared out with your leadership staff in roughly April and May, and then to round out the end of the year and to start building for summer professional development or the next school year professional development, you would have that report to act on. That link is at the bottom of the page, and if for some reason that doesn't work for you, you can always Google for Education Transformation Report. All right, something else that's exciting for us, particularly in the teacher space, and hopefully is viewed as a super helpful tool by our students, is the launch straight from beta from the last couple months of Originality Reports. So if you haven't heard of Originality Reports is meant to help students focus on turning in their original thoughts and properly citing outside thoughts or ideas within works that they turn in to you as projects. It helps them practice good skills, verifying academic integrity, This is something that is actually going to exist as a freemium product. So now that it's turned on or now that it's available to all the domains, it's something that you can turn on. It lives within Classroom. Students have unlimited capabilities with using this as kind of before you click turn it in, are you sure that this is what you want to submit to your teachers? In the free version of this, which is available to all teachers right now, you'll get up to 3 scans per class in Classroom. So you can use those to see how this works, you know, maybe for major paper, a midterm, end of year project. And obviously that depends on what grade level you're using this for. In G Suite Enterprise for Education, there are unlimited scans for the teachers over the course of the given calendar year. All of this is powered by Google Search. So you can imagine the power of all the different search results that come in Google Search. That is what the paper or project results are compared against. And so you can see on the right-hand side, it'll make a reference to where a few passages, even with how creative sometimes our students are by adding in a few extra words that may or may not look like something else. There is also, actually just came out today, a beta announcement of interdomain. So meaning that if students are copying off of each other, they will actually show up in results as well. So that's a beta right now. If you want to sign up for that, encourage you to do so. Google for Education beta is an easy search and a way to do all that. Rubrics are available to all Classroom users. This was something that was in beta right along with Originality reports. And we took a lot of the fantastic feedback that we got from our beta users and turned it into what Rubrics has become. That's available for everyone. So you can create rubrics now, attach a rubrics to the assignments that you're sending out to your students. You can also reuse and update previous rubrics. That was a great piece of feedback that we received, saving drafts for future use. You can also export, import, and share rubrics. Sharing was another thing that a lot of people were asking for during the beta process, and an expectation that we included. And so that is a part of it now, that you are able to share with your teammates, providing consistency as you work through assignments over the course of different units or over the course of the school year. And one of everyone's favorite parts is that it automatically calculates grades from the rubrics, which makes your grading process just that much easier. Admin console updates. This is we have way more policies. My back audio, Chad, sorry. There we go, back in. All right. Next thing is AUE. I'll actually skip over this, as this is something that is mainly lies in the admin console, but we extended support of devices. Big news here, for 8 years compared to 6.5 for most platforms before. At BET in the UK, we did announce the next round of Chromebook tablets. So this is a look at the Lenovo 10e Chromebook tablet. And you can see it with a Bluetooth keyboard that allows for all different types of learning experiences in addition to your traditional Chromebooks. In Google Docs, we continue to find ways to adapt to the needs of our users, whether it's students, staff, anything in general. And so we've actually added a LexEnd font style, which is meant to improve reading speed for individuals or end users of all different ability levels and comprehension levels. Google Slides, as I mentioned before, Chad stealing the thunder. This is exactly what we're showcasing now, which is having a caption live and available to you as you're going through to make content easily digestible in large group settings, in post-event settings, or live in the moment. G Suite certification. So this is something that was long awaited for, and hopefully you're aware of. We did create a certification program, which actually there's a lot of fantastic content in Applied Digital Skills, which Aaron is going to talk about here in just a minute. That is based on G Suite certification preparation for our students. So this is our first attempt at providing opportunities for students to get industry level certifications, showing their mastery of the usage of G Suite. Already touched on originality reports. This is just another kind of showcase with a little bit more lively GIF here that shows what it would look like to run this, how you can interact with the content on the side of the page. Furthering learning with video collaboration, we just like to continue to showcase all the different ways you can connect, especially as some schools are trying to get creative with emergency learning days, or what we also know as the end of snow days, and connecting with our students outside of school, making sure that they aren't missing out on content and instruction. Last place that I want to cover before we move over to Aaron and Applied Digital Skills is some amazing updates in our programs and Teacher PD. So in the first one, I had some great announcements come out regarding Be Internet Awesome and some new modules and activities that have come there. So if you were one of the early users of Be Internet Awesome, you experienced the pillars that we had and the resources available, I encourage you to go check out the latest updates and see if that's an additional fit to the content that you've already been providing to your students. Also announced right in hand with that, Code with Google announced a $1 million computer science grant. This is meant to go right along with the great stuff we have in our CS First program, allowing to, or providing for comprehensive computer science resources, continuing to find ways to enable our students with that computational thinking mindset, as well as skill sets that are highly in demand and really will aid in their learning experiences in the K-12 and kind of the K-20 space. Last area that I wanted to touch on quickly is the Teacher Center. So the Teacher Center has gotten a reboot. If you hadn't noticed or hadn't been, there's a lot of great first day content. So the first time using things like Classroom or Forms or Jamboard, we have some interactive materials in there for you, including videos that showcase how to use these tools, in addition to some lesson ideas or resources. And you can see the mention there of those being in micro courses that you can take at your own pace. Last thing, which launched right at the beginning of the school year this year, we recognize that everyone is at very different levels of using Google tools. And so we released a series called the Getting Started with Google. This is using a variety of different tools that are expected as G Suite using districts, and sometimes we need even a refresher. As this lesson here showcases of reviewing the basics of using G Suite or Drive in your district. So you can see here some content. There's some testing of your knowledge. Very, for some of us, maybe basic tasks, but also for some of us, maybe just drilling down into understanding, in this case, how to properly share files. What if there's a file in Drive that you wanted to download and share in a different way? Totally out there for you. Encourage you to check this out, and hopefully something that's a valuable resource. All right, at this point, it is my distinct privilege and pleasure to introduce you to my teammate, Erin Spalding. She works on our Applied Digital Skills platform and content, and have had the pleasure of working with her and presenting to schools across North America. So really excited, Erin, to let you take it away here and showcase our great tool set of Applied Digital Skills as we look to aid our learning communities in developing digital skills for the future of work. Erin, are you there?
Should be good. I unmuted you.
Oh, awesome. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for that great introduction, Mike. It was really awesome to see all of that stuff. I feel like I learned a ton, so I feel like I should attend these more often.
I always learn so much when he goes through these, and for those attending live and for those watching the recorded webinar, just my mind's going 100 miles a minute looking at and thinking about all the amazing things that Google has to offer in these tools, and really how they're we're leveraging them to bring home a lot of these initiatives in districts across the state. So it's really exciting to hear about that stuff, and even more exciting for Erin to be here with us to take a little bit deeper dive into the amazing work you're doing.
Thanks so much, Chad. Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Erin Spalding, and I work out of the New York City Google office. And just a little bit about myself. I used to be I was a middle school science teacher for a handful of years before switching to focus on curriculum development. And so it's really awesome being here at Google. And as Mike said, I work on the team that develops the content for a program called Applied Digital Skills. And so I'm really excited to share that program with you today and answer any questions that you might have about it. So just kind of taking a step back and thinking about, why did Google decide to create this program? Go to the next slide. So really, this program was created looking at the job market today and the type of skills that people need in jobs today, and realizing that, employers are looking for skills that many students aren't confident in because a lot of them actually didn't learn those skills when they were in school. So there's some interesting statistics on the screen today, and I think it's particularly interesting to note that the statistic about 44% of recent high school and college graduates are, admitting that they don't feel like their education sort of gave them the skills that they need. So that kind of sets us up with this challenge. And then the next slide, which really creates this opportunity that we could create a curriculum that specifically addresses all of the different types of digital skills that students are needing in the job market. So, here are some more examples of sort of, startling and interesting statistics around the kinds of job related skills that are required today. And I think it's really interesting to think about how, the jobs continue to evolve. And, we definitely keep hearing about how, the majority of jobs that kids who are in school today are going to have are sort of things that maybe haven't even been created yet. So it's kind of creating this environment where we have to sort of continually be introducing new types of skills for students. Next slide. So, Google has a commitment that as technology evolves and, digital tools and skills become more of a necessity, that students deserve to have access to those tools and also access to learning opportunities for how to use those skills and tools. And then that really leads us to our solution, which is this program called Applied Digital Skills, which is a free program. It's video-based, which I'll show you some screenshots of in a moment. And it's all online. And it's really designed for students of all ages. So, definitely it was created thinking about middle and high school students, but we also have quite a bit of content now for adult learners as well. We've found that a lot of students will start to take the classes, and then they end up, introducing it to family members and parents who end up taking it. So it's really designed for people of all ages. Next slide. So just taking a look inside our curriculum. One thing you'll see when you go to the site, which I hope you do, and kind of explore, is that each of the lessons really has a lot going on in it. So the lessons are really designed to be engaging. So they are often like very sort of fun topics. So for example, there's a lesson where students learn how to, create formulas in spreadsheets, but it's all in the context of planning a dream vacation. Another example is that students learn in one lesson how to how to format a document and sort of learn some basic graphic design skills while they're producing a blockbuster movie. And then one more example, students are practicing editing a document while also learning some coding skills. So, there's sort of a lot going on in terms of a combination of digital skills with practical skills, with course skills. And so on our next slide, kind of see this displayed here. So as you can see, like each of the lessons in this program combines one or more digital skills with some of the practical life skills that are listed there, and also features one or more of the different tools that are across the bottom. And all of these are also, as we saw from those examples, they're kind of done in the context of a project. So students are really creating in every single one of these lessons, which really, we've been finding really leads to increased student engagement in participating in these lessons. And one other thing that I like to note that I think is really special about this program is that a lot of the lessons can really be customized for different courses. So, you could we'll look at an example in a moment of a lesson that's about creating a presentation. And so, a history teacher could use that lesson, a science teacher could use that lesson, an English teacher could use that lesson, a technology teacher could use that lesson. So really the projects allow for students and teachers to really customize the actual work that students do based on the course that they're in while learning those essential digital skills. Here we can see this is that lesson I was just mentioning called Create a Presentation All About a Topic. And the lesson is, it's a complete curriculum that provides everything a teacher will need and a student will need to complete the activities and learn the skills. So here you can see, this would be if you go to the website and you click on lessons, and then you click on this particular lesson, you can see that the different digital tools and digital skills that the lesson covers are covered on this slide. So you can see that this lesson uses search and slides and focuses on presentation formatting, sharing research, and slide design. And if you click to the next slide, it's a video-based curriculum. So when you click into this lesson, you'll see that there are 6 videos here, and then there is a reflection activity, and there are some extension videos. So the way that the program works is that students will watch each of these videos, and each video is approximately, I would say, 2 to 5 minutes long, and it's going to show students step by step how to do a particular set of tasks, and then the video ends with an action for students to go and do those steps themselves. They do those steps, then they move on to the next video. So this really allows for different ways that you as teachers can be having students complete the activities. So you could show each video to your whole class, and then have students complete the tasks, and then move on and look at the second video as a whole class and have students complete the tasks. Or you could allow students to do the lessons independently and kind of move at their own paces. So really there's a lot of different options. If you click, I do have a slide here that just shows you that it is all, the videos are all hosted by someone. We have a set of different hosts for the videos. So they're personalized in that this host is going to walk students through everything they need to know within a particular video. Okay, next slide. And each video also has a set of teaching resources. So there is a lesson plan, and that's a really great place to look so that you can get an overview of the whole lesson. And you can sort of see the breakdown of, how the different 45 or 90 minutes are spent by students. There's also a sample rubric to show you, one way that you might want to evaluate student performance on the lesson. There are certificates that you can fill out and give to students to sort of, help celebrate their success in the program. And all of the videos can be downloaded. So, we often hear that, sometimes the internet can go out in classrooms or, it's just a little bit spotty. And so it can be a little bit nerve-wracking using a video-based program. So every video can be downloaded, and also all of the digital tools can be used offline as well. So it's just a good backup to have in mind that all of that, you can sort of securely download that on your computer and not have to worry about the internet on any given day. Okay, next slide. So we are aligned with state standards. And, I was just chatting with Chad at the beginning of this call, and the standards currently are not on the website, but we do have them available in a spreadsheet that we can share with you. But rest assured, they are all aligned, and we're going to work on getting that back up on the website for you. We took it down because it was creating some challenges navigating the site, but our goal is to get that back up. We have been reviewed by ISTE and by Common Sense Education. And we recently just passed the milestone of having over 1 million students enrolled in the program. So it was just around the new year when we sort of reached that impressive number. So we're very proud of just how much this program is growing.
So that transitions perfectly into what I wanted to share real quick, Erin. I had an opportunity when the alignment first came out to be kind of in on that and get an opportunity to see it firsthand early. And we're very excited about it. So I have an opportunity to travel throughout the state to share our information and technology literacy standards, which are exactly what you're talking about, the skills and the knowledge that kids need to be successful and really to be future ready, right? We growing up prepared for a job. Specifically teachers ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? We can't ask that question anymore because we're not sure what jobs are going to be there. So how are we preparing kids for those jobs? How are we giving them the skills that they need to be adaptable, flexible, and really apply to a lot of different situations? And so, we share a lot of that. And during those presentations, I have an opportunity to share some resources. And this is one of those that I like to share because it is aligned. People are understanding that those skills and knowledge that are embedded in the ITL standards are great. That's what we need to have. How do we embed those in the classroom? And this really gives us that opportunity. It gives you samples of what it actually looks like, and the facilitation guides are great. And that alignment here. So once you come back to this, you'll get a copy. We put these on our website so that you can come back and use these resources, but these links won't work right this second if you try to click on them. But when we put up the copy of this presentation, the first link here will take you to our ITL standards and give you a little bit more background and some links to those. But the second one is actually linking directly to that spreadsheet Erin was just talking about that has the alignment with these lessons, the grade levels, and the actual ITL standards. So it's all here. It's fantastic. It's in spreadsheet. I'm going to be pulling to get this back up on the website because it was really a great way to have these aligned and be able to kind of do this on the fly and not have to jump back and forth. So I'm gonna push for it. But this resource, and that's why we're so excited to do this today, is perfectly aligned with the work that we've been doing for the last couple of years through the state of Wisconsin. This is just a real quick sample of what that spreadsheet looks like. Pretty easy to navigate. It's a little clunkier than, well, I guess what I thought the website was, but it's really great. It breaks down, obviously, our state. I only pulled out the Wisconsin ones, the grades, the name of the actual standards that it aligns to, so our ITL standards, the specific standard that it relates to, the skill, and then the lesson and activity that you'll find within the applied digital skills website. So pretty easy to grab and go and plug right in with the lessons. Those, I mean, the work you guys are doing over there, Erin, is fantastic.
Great, thanks, Chad. And just to jump back in and look at just a sample of additional lessons that we have on the website, I will say that right now we have over 100 lessons. And we add new lessons about twice a month in batches. So we are continuing to grow the number of different sort of opportunities that you and your students can have using the lessons. So one of our very first lessons, which remains very popular, is this if-then adventure stories. You can see it's a little bit of a longer lesson. It's 2 to 3 hours worth of activities, but that includes, the set of sort of short videos like I was showing on a previous slide, and then time for students to be actually working and creating the project that goes along with the lesson. So here, they're learning the digital skills of collaboration and working in docs and slides. Particularly, there's a lot of work around hyperlinking. Students work first as members of a group to come up with their idea. They create a storyboard, and then they actually, together as a group, build this sort of interactive, choose your own adventure slide presentation. So this is a very popular one. And here I think you could see how this could work in any subject. The second lesson is planning an event. This is, again, another popular one. This has even sort of more lessons in it, so it's a little bit of a longer lesson. And this one works with spreadsheets. It works with some digital publishing and docs. So students are working as a member of a team to plan all aspects of an event, from beginning, coming up with the original idea for the event, publicizing the event, creating, to-do lists for the event. Another popular one. And then the last example that I wanted to show you was one that I mentioned earlier, which is, we call it Pick the Next Box Office Hit. And this is the one that involves really a lot of data analysis, and also then some data visualization skills in Sheets. And it has students, do analysis on some actual movie director, actor, actress data, and then figure out who to cast and what type of story to create a new movie around. It's sort of a really interesting, fun one that students really enjoy. Okay, and next slide. And I also wanted to call out, because I thought that would be particularly interesting to you all, to let you know that we do have a set of lessons that focus on different aspects of digital citizenship. So you can sort of read them here. Currently, we have these 7 out of our 102 that are currently on the website. And, as I mentioned, we are adding new lessons all the time. And so if there's ever any particular topic that you think would be great to have a lesson on, I encourage you to share that with us. And we can definitely work on making that happen.
And this plays right into, again, the work that we're doing throughout the state of Wisconsin with our online safety and digital citizenship skills. I've provided you some more links here, but again, these lessons are fantastic. This website, through our partnership with the Department of Justice, has a lot of really good resources on it. Applied Digital Skills is just one of those, but the connections are huge. We have the Interact module. The first Interact module came out last year, and that's really for the family engagement piece. So as we look at a lot of this stuff, it's really important that we're, obviously bringing this into our classrooms, but creating buy-in from families is huge. And so this first Interact module was an opportunity to get parents involved in the digital citizenship conversations, understanding and how to have those conversations and how to model that in your homes. And so this is that opportunity for them to sit down with their kids and interactively go through and have those conversations, and while they're filling out a family media plan. The second Interact module just came out at the beginning of February, and this one is on oversharing. So it's a really hot topic right now, and important, not really an easy conversation to have with your kids. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I've had some conversations, and they're not comfortable conversations, but they're important conversations because it's real life. So again, the connection between these resources is uncanny and pretty fantastic. So again, thank you for that.
Great. And so I wanted to end just on this slide that shows some of the different, websites and resources that we have, because I would love, what I'd love for all of you to do is, if you haven't done so yet, to kind of go visit first our main page. I was showing the screenshots of before, but then also we do have a guide that's designed for K through 12 teachers to help you get started using the program. We have a set of help resources and also some troubleshooting resources there. And then, as Mike mentioned, we have a set of lessons that specifically are designed to prepare students to take the student certification exam. So I encourage you to check those out. And then we also have a resource in case, you might want to help other teachers at your school start to use the program, because it can be kind of fun if, kids are using the program in different courses. And so we have what we call our sort of DIY trainer kit, where you could use that resource to become a trainer, in your own school or district to help others get on board with the program. So that's all from me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. And again, just thank you so much for having me today.
Appreciate you joining us today. We'll give people a couple minutes. If you have questions you want to type in the chat, fire at it. But really, honestly, appreciate the work you guys are doing, and the tie into, the work that we continue to do throughout the state. It's all there, and having more resources for educators to call on to make their lives easier is really good. So appreciate again you joining us today, sharing this fantastic resource. I'm gonna continue to have conversations with you about
Great.
maybe getting that
yes.
connection piece back up.
I'll have conversations here tomorrow about it as well. And I know, Mike was mentioning earlier, sharing feedback with us, and I just kind of wanted to reiterate that because, we definitely, the curriculum team that I'm on, we're made up of people who, used to be in the classroom and really value all the work that teachers are doing. And so we want to be creating resources that are going to work best for you. And, it's always helpful for us to sort of know about your realities, know what's going to work well for you or not work well for you, so that we can then make sure we make those improvements and changes in what we create.
I agree. That's how we work best. Best resources come from good feedback. So if anyone has some suggestions, feel free to reach out to any one of us for those things. Another quick thing that I wanted to touch on was the fact that, this is great for classrooms, but doesn't necessarily have to be rolled out in classrooms. Students can jump on here and do some of these activities on their own and just learn some of these skills. Same with adults, that adult learning piece. We push I don't want to push. I don't push. We inform and really, talk across the state about the skills and knowledge and the information technology literacy standards and what it is that kids need to be successful. But in order for our kids to be successful, our teachers need to be successful, our administrators need to have these skills. So being able to jump into a program like this and learn on your own in a comfortable environment is kind of nice. You can self-navigate and go through some of these things and really learn kind of on your own. So it's pretty cool.
Great. Well, thank you for being such a big supporter.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate all of you joining us today. Again, thank you to Mike and Aaron. And we look forward to next month, volume 6. Make sure you're looking for details. We'll get that out in the coming weeks.
Yeah, spoiler alert for everyone. Volume 6 is going to be us featuring Jamboard, both the board itself and the app. For those of you that are curious about how the Jamboard app can impact the learning experiences and teaching experiences in your learning communities, we'll see you in about a month. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Chad. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in live, as well as those of you that will watch this afterwards. And as always, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. We're open to help and open to your feedback anytime.
Thanks, guys.